everyone. If this is working correctly, you can hear us, you can see us. We're together, no longer in the Zoom life.
I know.
But it won't always be this way. There may be times when we have to be separate again. Okay, if this is not working, then we're just talking to ourselves and having a great old conversation.
Can't say that's never happened before.
I know. Have you ever been left alone in a Zoom room, participant one?
Yes, I have.
Do you feel like isolated or like it's nice? Okay, no one's here and I can be with myself for a moment.
I feel free.
I love being with people. So, I mean, it's frustrating for me when no one shows up to the Zoom meeting, but
it's true. But you know, what's interesting is that you're an extrovert, so you can't help yourself.
I can't help it.
I'm a professional extrovert, so I can't help myself.
You work very hard at presenting as a super social butterfly. But in reality, you would like to be alone in your room reading a book.
I need to do that after being social and gloriously connecting with other people.
Well, let's unpack that. You know, a lot of the times I feel like I don't ever give myself that isolation and that sense of like, and now, you know, I have 3 kids that are always touching me. So it's like I do sometimes. Remember when you made me go to a sensory deprivation tank and float?
I will never forget the time that Catherine and I went to a sensory deprivation tank and floated. And incidentally, for all the millions of people watching this live stream right now, this is Catherine Hover, and she's here for it.
I am. So this is our resident unicorn at Palette, Marcella Hammer. She just happens to be a redhead, which makes her even more amazing, and has lots of fun stories about that. And we'll get to that because I think first let's just tell everybody, like who we are, Catherine, Marcella, and talk about what we're doing here. Here for Live. What is this?
This is you, man.
It's my show. I created my own show, and it's called the Here for It Live. And it really came out of, we can thank COVID for it, because it's something that I say all the time, I'm here for it. Because again, showing up is half of it. And that's just something that I've always said, and didn't even realize I was saying it. And it became my thing. And then COVID happened. About a year and a half ago, COVID happened. And we were like, oh no, hang on to your seats because it's about to get bumpy. And we kind of had this moment where we're like, look, well, what are we? What is Palette? Is it just a co-working space? Is it just a cafe? And we called bullshit on ourselves and said, no, we're not. We're a community of amazing humans who have band together to actually support each other in career and in life. And it's crazy when that actually happens and then you really start to do things. It's really fun. And so we both kind of felt like if we were a community, well, we would need to be able to continue being vocal and seen and heard and spoken to, amplifying messages around all of our members. And so we'll keep on showing up even during COVID. So we never canceled one single event that we had. We had a stacked calendar when COVID hit of amazing events here at Palette, and we kept all of them. We didn't cancel not a one. We just moved the venue. It's a little fun place called Zoom. And we continued to party with each other.
You sure did.
And Here for It Live was a concept that we came up with, and literally for 3 months, and I feel like a broken record because I just told this story downstairs to Jackie and her new friend Tiffany. Tiffany, if you're watching, hello. And we went live for 3 months straight, every day at 10 a.m., and I did a Here for It Live, and I interviewed or had a conversation with another one of our amazing members about how they're showing up in the world during COVID, how are they doing. Marcella created Get Your Mind Right, and I think that was streamed every day for 3 months at 3 p.m.
3 p.m. Yeah.
And with more of our wellness, holistic coaches, life people, positivity. Yeah. And one of my favorite events you will have to share, which was the Magic with Marcella.
Oh, the Magic with Marcella. That was pretty fun. It never stops though. I mean, if you're around me, you're a part of that event, aren't you? But that was something that we did every day at 4:00. And it started off being longer conversations and then turned into just these like little snippets of like magic spells and non-magic spells for surviving life.
Yeah, little happy nuggets of fun that made you think, oh, that is so interesting and very magical.
Very
experience.
magical.
So it's been a hot minute since we have had this program going, but I decided it's time to bring back the magic and the authenticity, imperfections, and just the real life of what's going on and happening around Palette.
What I love about Here For It Live and about you is that there's this word, it's called unscripted. What's this one?
Yeah,
I just love it.
You just don't know what you're going to get.
You never know.
You just never know. I mean, what are we going to unpack today? Is it, well, first I want, again, to make sure people are aware that, like, we don't really know what we're doing.
Oh, we do too. We know what we're doing, but we also recognize that there are bumps in the road and sometimes you catch a little air.
I mean, who wants an easy life and no bumps? I love the bumps. The challenges make me feel alive.
It's true. It's like the adrenaline hits.
Oh, I love it.
It's better than any coffee.
Well, I don't know about that. The coffee at Palette is pretty damn good.
Fact.
Okay, so let's talk about what Palette is.
Let's do it.
All right, so Palette is a cafe, a co-working space,
and
a community.
It really is.
Yeah, and there's lots of different types of people here.
So many different types.
We have different entrepreneurs. We have school teachers. We have doctors. Shout out to Dr. Jen and Dr. Jen. We have 3 Dr. Jens. We have 3 Jens that are also doctors that are members here at Palette.
And a Dr. Jess.
And a Dr. Jess. Well, maybe I'm mixing up. We have 2 Jens and a Jess.
Okay, 2 Jens and a Jess and a Manuel.
Yes, we do. We have all the experts in the healthcare industry.
The human beings that make up this community have all different things that make them special. And whether it is the career that they've chosen or the career that they're in that they're choosing to transition out of to make a dream come true, or, you know, really whatever they're doing in life, that is what makes them special. And Palette is a place where we all come together and collaborate in all different ways.
Look, it's all about shared experience. I mean, if you're out there somewhere in the World Wide Web of the world and you think you're the only one going through some shit right now, I got news for you.
You're not the only spider on the web.
There's bound to be someone in the universe of Palette, in our orbit, that has also been there too. And what's really cool about Palette is that all these people want to help. We all want to help. We want to be part of what you're building, what you're growing, what you're going through, and we want to help you help more people. Help people, help more people. That one I stole from Dr. Estruck. Taken. And you know what? He's happy that I took it. Because sometimes it's all about sharing, right? Sharing the expertise that more people can hear the message, hear the stories, and just feel a little, or maybe even a lot better about their lives.
It's true, because life is hard.
We're getting a little woo-woo.
Aren't we though?
I don't know if the LinkedIn folks are ready for the woo-woo.
Do you need a little energy healing, guys? All of you out there.
We got a member for that, right?
We always do.
You actually connected me with Helen Brecker, who was here yesterday in the flesh. Yes. She wasn't just a vision. She was a vision, but she was also here in the flesh. And she was here having coffee with a new friend that she met over the Zoom life in the last year. And they were meeting for the first time. And it was so amazing and magical to see, like, you know, we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of people coming back into the world. Re-entry is hard. And kind of like you may re-enter and then be like, okay, I need a week of isolation again, because that was a lot.
It is a lot. And, you know, that's something that I love that we get to witness at Palette and that I think we're both experiencing on our own. Something that I find is, you know, we've been doing the Zoom thing so much, or like the Microsoft Teams or whatever it is. And sometimes I'll meet people for the first time in real life, but I don't realize it's the first time I've met them in real life. And I've only actually known them through the internet. Have you had that experience too?
I don't, I'm trying to think, not off the top of my head, no.
Mostly it's with our Palette members. And it happened to me the other day here in Saratoga. Christina King, who's one of our Palette members, was here in the human self. and I'd only met her through Zoom. But I think what's so amazing even about like this form of communication, like with Zoom and with the magic of the internet and where we are, is that we maybe feel like, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I know people. I feel like it just, there's no boundaries between this and the real world anymore for me.
There's no boundaries.
No boundaries.
Well, we need to work on that because, I mean, we got to create the boundaries. I mean, that's a whole nother topic of conversation that people are having to navigate right now.
Yes, but I think this is like the good kind of no boundaries, because if it's a no boundary with getting to know you communication and the ability to show up authentically, like the way we like to.
You know, I feel like we met a lot of members, obviously we've tripled our membership since last March when COVID hit. And there have been a lot of people who have joined and that we've only known from Zoom, but I met them like a couple, like at our last Meet the Village, like Kirsten, I had never met her in real life before and she's amazing. Teresa Beard, who's I think here, I think when she commented, maybe she's still here, maybe she's not still here, I don't know, but Teresa is amazing and she joined during COVID and I met her for the first time at our last Meet the Village in Saratoga. So that's a thing that we do once a month. At the first Friday of every month, we have a Meet the Village party, and everybody can get together and blab and connect and meet each other in real life.
You know what's amazing though? Our Meet the Village for July is actually tonight. It's the second Friday. I know. I just blew your mind.
Well,
everybody, hold on.
Hold on to your horses.
The reason this is this Friday is that last Friday was like America's birthday. And so we needed to facilitate it to be easy for our members to get together. And the reality is that even before the whole global pandemic thing, like we crave connection, we crave the ability to get together in person. And so these Meet the Villages are kind of one of my favorite events because it gives our members a chance to come together in person, reconnect or connect for the first time. And sometimes we do this activity. My favorite activity.
Well, you do this activity like ongoing. You don't just hold space for it at Meet the Village, but you've introduced this. One of the many things that Marcella has contributed to this community is the DM slide.
The DM slide. It's
talked about, but very rarely actually done.
It's true.
Until you met Marcella, and she slides into a lot of people's DMs, and it's rewarding.
So my new favorite, so when we talk about the DM slide, it's not like I'm trying to go and like, have relationships other than just like friendly, personal, professional ones. But we like to send DMs on Instagram, which are direct messages to people we admire or people who have done things to change our lives or inspire us. And so it can be anything from like, I don't know, Gary Vee to like Sarah Blakely or Shaquille O'Neal. But my new favorite thing to do, so I have all of these awkward pictures of me when I was younger and had horrible haircuts, like bowl cuts, and I like to send those pictures to Harry Styles to see if he'll respond.
Okay, well, as you're saying, it's like, tell us more about the redhead. Hey, Carrie, how are you? Oh, this is really cool. You can show the comments on the page. Y'all, our tech is really getting upgraded. Carrie, I don't know if you're listening to this, but can you remember the first time that you came on here for it live? And I was the production crew. I was doing everything, and also the moderator, the production crew. I was all the things. And so we upped it a notch. So I'm so happy you're here. Thanks for being here. And I'll also see you in real life on Monday, which I can't wait for. Okay, so tell us about the Redhead event that you started.
Oh, yes. So
do I count? Pink is not red.
I mean, you're pretty pale. If we put a red hair on you, you would look pretty natural.
Yes, I'm very fair.
You're fair and freckly. So
kisses from angels is what my mom told me that they were.
Freckles or kisses from angels? Y'all, the angels need to chill with me then, because I'm good, guys.
Back off, angels.
I'm good. But it's so funny because this whole redhead thing, like clearly I have never been able to escape it. I was born this way. But there was this day I was working here in Saratoga and Palette, and all of a sudden I realized that there were like 4 other redheads in the room with me that are Palette members. And so we decided to converge and create a digital event called Ask the Redheads, which is actually happening like right after we talk.
Right after this.
Yeah, like right after we talk, I'm like rolling into it.
We're relaunching in a big way. I mean, we're just like, we're going to relaunch all the digital stuff that means so much to people and to us.
It really does. But like, it's fun.
So is this a launch today, or is this
I think it's like a one-time, it's like a one-time thing. So
fine.
Well, it probably won't be one time because we have so much sunscreen to talk about. But, we found that redheads just find each other, probably because we're so easy to spot in a crowd. But Lee Hornback, who is one of our members, she and I actually met initially at a gathering called the League of Extraordinary Redheads. It's real. It happened in Troy. And
of course it did.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to Duncan Crary, who started that organization, where it was the first time I walked into a room and everyone looked like me. My family, I'm the only one. So Lee and I first met there. And it's just the funniest thing when you have traits in common with people that you never thought were common traits, like the love of sunscreen, the lack of eyebrows, the propensity for brown mascara, so many
and
things.
Character. I mean, I've never met a redhead that was not passionate. And I mean, I think it's because you've had to learn how to advocate for yourself and take up for yourself. And all the redheads are bullied, which
it's true.
I just feel like they also, it builds a character in you that is of resilience.
I'm so glad I was bullied. I have so much character.
I don't mean to laugh. This is real life. This is not a joke. But redheads should not be bullies or the bullied.
No. But what's like so funny is that it's always one or the other.
Yeah, the redheads are either the bully or the bullies.
I mean, it's probably the same for the brown hairs and the pink hairs too. And the blondes. But it's just...
We're all in this together.
Guys, we all get bullied.
True. But just not as... I was not near... I thought I was bullied, and then I heard other bullied stories, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, we left out.
Those things did not happen to me.
But it's like... So the thing about the redheads, I like that you mentioned like the fiery personalities, but there's also a difference between redheaded women and redheaded men. Do you know the difference? It's not just anatomical.
No, I don't know.
Well, the men, it's like, they're kind of weird. Sorry, guys.
I mean, do you have one particular popular redhead in mind that comes to your writers club and is also a founding member of Palette?
I mean, I may be thinking about Jeff Buell, but I'm probably thinking about Jeff Buell. No, I was thinking about like Prince Harry. He's like fine. And there's some redheaded men that are like totally normal.
He is fine. That's what I think.
Fine with like 5 eyes in it.
Fine.
We're not objectifying the Prince Harry, but we are. But like redheaded men, except for Jeff Buell and Prince Harry, and probably like what's his name, Ed Sheeran, they're all like so shy and like awkward, kind of like they came out from the shadows and they don't know how to act in public.
Well, I mean, that's, again, a lot of people.
Prove me wrong, guys. Like, prove me wrong.
Come at your girl, Marcella Hammer, you outgoing redheaded man.
Yeah, prove me wrong.
Speaking of single men, I would like to also shed light on two of our founding members, Gabby Fisher, Becky Daniels, who have banded together to create the Capital Region's most amazing dating service.
It's true.
And you've been to some of their events. I have not, so tell us more.
So let me just set this record straight. I'm in a very happy relationship, and we actually went to these events together, not to be like creepy swingers or anything. Not that it's creepy. If you're a swinger, that's cool.
To each his own.
To each his own.
This is
like,
just not your own.
This is not my own. We went to support our friends. But it's so awesome that Cap Heart Connect gals have created this awesome, it's not like a club, but it's kind of like a club. They do in-person meetups where you can get off of the dating apps and like into real life.
Yeah.
And, you know, as like a passive observer, it's amazing to watch it all go down. It's amazing.
It's just a world that I have not experienced in quite some time. I'll be married 10 years this year. And then dating was like college dating, which is totally different than real life dating. So it's intriguing to me.
And it's interesting.
And it's
too.
a safe, and what I love
It is.
about the program is that it's safe. It's a safe environment, like no pressure. Like you can go and, you know,
Yeah, like no,
just be yourself.
Yeah, no one's gonna like slink up on you and make you uncomfortable.
No, none of
And
that.
you know, I think that that's an experience that a lot of us have had, whether we're, you know, going on dates or like trying to date or dating or, you know, networking.
Yeah, networking.
No offense to the chambers of commerces out in the world, but like I think most women can speak to the experience of having like some slinky creeps slink up on us at the chamber events.
At the networking mixer.
The mixer.
And there's lots of mixing going on, not as much networking going on. So it can be very cliquey, the networking thing. So I actually love to network. I love it.
I mean, so do I.
I love to meet new people. I love to hear their stories, where they're at in life and where they've been. And, you know, I think networking, sometimes you can sometimes get into a situation where like all you hear about is that person talking about themselves. I love it. I just love it. I love it.
I mean, I know we talked about the fact that I'm an introvert, but I also love networking. I love people. And the best part about networking that I think not everyone recognizes is that everyone loves to talk about themselves. So if you just keep asking questions, you can like walk away from a conversation and they think that you're like so great and all they know is maybe your name, but you know everything about them. That is why I love networking.
I think that's why I like it too. Because I mean, I don't know how to explain this. Like, I think generally women have a hard time putting themselves up, right? Like talking about themselves, how awesome they are. I mean, it's like one of the things that women struggle with. Like we don't even stand in our awesomeness, or it's very rare to see a woman who's like, I'm a badass. I'm kicking ass. I'm taking names. I'm doing the damn thing.
Unless you're a palate,
unless you're a palate, we force you to, say these things about yourself all the time. But in networking, that's the awkward part of it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have to talk about myself. I'm gonna have to tell everybody who I am, whatever. And at Palette, we do it for you, right? So we just like plug Becky. She didn't ask for that. It's just like a thing that we do because we're awesome.
It's true. You know what I really love to do in networking is thoughtful introductions.
Okay, go for it. Thoughtfully introduce Christina Ferranici Roberts right now. Another Palette member, another amazing mom. Working her tail off. She's all about the DEI.
Oh, so you guys need to know
She's
Christina.
Also 10 years in August for me and my husband. There we go, 10 years.
She's amazing. So we met Christina back in, I mean, you've known her longer, but I met Christina like earlier this year. She's a total badass, former high school principal, current amazing entrepreneur, and yeah, she's in the DEI space, but she's so much more than that. And she and I had an awesome conversation last week about Enneagrams.
Is this the number?
The number
thing.
The
numbers, yeah.
Yes. And it was amazing, and she's amazing, and you should all meet her and know her.
Well, she is another one that advocates for herself, her beliefs. She stands by what she believes in, and it's so important to lift women like Christina up, because I think I don't know if you're still here, Christina, but I read her entire thread. She got into a hot discussion about, a hot topic.
A hot topic.
On LinkedIn.
Oh, nice.
We could talk about that too. How like this is the first time Here for It Live has ever been streamed to LinkedIn. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
I think that we need to do more on LinkedIn. We need to have more conversations, more engagements, more dialogue on LinkedIn. Because a lot of the times my LinkedIn is just like, here's a job posting, or here's something that's so professional, it's like no longer engaging because it's like next level and I'm not there yet.
LinkedIn is really interesting to me, and I'm on it, but I don't spend a lot of time there. And I think because I am watching it evolve and trying to figure out how, like, I personally, as Marcella the human, fit into the conversation. And I think the fact that we're able to do things like this make LinkedIn a lot more appealing to me, because I want to have those conversations. Like, I want to have like straight up real talk. And I mean, no offense, but like that's much more fun for me.
Yeah, and
And job
not
postings.
so.
I'm happy with my job, so I don't
want to
need
say,
any
yeah,
postings.
you better be. We treat you very well here, Marcella. We can't do it without you. So you can't like. If anyone on LinkedIn is looking to poach Marcella, she is unavailable.
I'm too expensive.
She can't.
Sorry.
You can't afford her because you don't pay her in love.
It's true. Love, you know what it is? It's priceless. Priceless.
My point though was that a lot of LinkedIn content is polished and scripted and buttoned up, and that's just not real life.
You know what we are? We're gritty.
We're gritty.
We're unscripted.
True Grit.
We're real.
Have you ever seen True Grit?
I love True Grit.
Rooster Cogburn. I feel like I was raised by Rooster Cogburn.
That is genuinely one of my favorite movies in the world.
It's empowering. Female lead.
So fun.
Young female lead. I like those stories.
I think it's like Katherine Hoover's biography in film is True Grit, sort of. Or mine.
I have not been bitten by a poisonous snake yet.
Yes.
I'm not going to write it off, but you know.
I mean, you're not even 40. You got time.
I got plenty of time. I'll be 35 this year. Thank you very much. I've got plenty of life to live, plenty of work to do, and this is how you do it. You get started, right?
So now that we're doing like all this professional talk, I got a real professional question for you.
Please.
So
please mind your manners.
I do. I'm very professional as a businesswoman.
Did you say grit because you knew Christina's business is called Grace, Grit, and Glory?
Yes.
Faith and fitness.
Yes, I did do that on purpose.
People do compare church, like going to church as in like going to the fitness to get the workout going. I could use a little of that. Both of those things.
I think all humans can. Okay. So
digress.
here's my real question. As we were talking about True Grit, what is your actual favorite movie?
Mary Poppins. The original. Hands down. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's true. She basically is Mary Poppins.
I am obsessed with Mary Poppins. Her sass. My favorite scene in that movie is when he's digging in the fireplace.
The chimney sweep dude?
Yeah. No. Like the dad, the grumpy dad, the grumpy banker dad. And she comes in and she kind of like just schools him without letting, like, he doesn't realize he's being schooled. And then he takes the idea as his own and he feeds it back to her. And she's like, whatever she says, I don't know. But I love that. It was like such great negotiation skills out of the Mary Poppins and of the Disney film. I mean, I'm a Disney fanatic.
You are.
So of course I was going to choose a Disney film.
So I know this is Here for It Live with Katherine Hoover. And so I'm just going to like flip the script and keep asking you questions about you so people can get to know you.
This is how it's done too, because it's like, we want to talk about ourselves and not feel guilty about it. So ask away. I'm an open book. Okay.
So we know your favorite movie is Mary Poppins. You basically are Mary Poppins. Mm-hmm. You can fly-ish. What is your entry music? Like when you're hyped, you're entering the room, like what do we play? What song plays?
I'm upset. I love Lizzo.
You do.
And I had this song in, what's the song? Switching up the messaging. I'ma set another precedent. You know that one? I don't know what that song is. I like that one. And then, and then I also like the Kanye West song that we put to my turning Mark's text messages into inspirational quotes. Do you see that one?
Runaway by Kanye West.
In my head. It's always just like
so good.
Rolling. And I also envision myself doing really cool things when both of those songs are playing.
That is, as a Kanye fan, despite all of it, like I appreciate that.
Look, I feel like in life, sometimes we have to remove the person from the artwork. And in this situation, that is what I've chosen to do with Kanye West.
I'm okay with that. So, okay. The post that we're talking about, so good. It was quotes from Katherine's husband as inspirational posters. And
one of them was, like it was this scenario was I was home with the girls and I was like, we got a game plan for dinner, and he told me he would pick up dinner from Stewards.
I mean, raise your hand if you've never had dinner from Stewards. No one's raising their hands.
I also am really a huge fan of Stewards chocolate shakes. I think that they're the best. And so, but that night he actually did bring dinner home from Stewards.
Was it a chocolate shake?
They have pre-made meals that are just fabulous. I'm telling you of another.
Oh, my favorite was this one. I'm fine. He wasn't fine.
He wasn't.
Did he see that?
He's not on social media.
That's probably for the best.
But I don't think he would be insulted. I mean, it's all real life, you know? I mean, be careful what you text your wife because it may go on the Instagrams.
It's true. Every man in the capital region is like, what have I done?
There's some interior, yeah. It's like an insider thing. But you know, I think we've been married 10 years, and I'm not saying the romance is gone, but I mean, when I'm getting texts about another one that Jess was dying when I shared it with her, we don't have dinner for you. There's no leftovers for you, or something like that. It was something like, there are no leftovers for you. We have no leftover dinner. I defend for myself that night, which I'm totally capable of.
Which means Stewards for dinner.
Which means a chocolate shake for dinner.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's my favorite song. What is another question you got?
What do you do when no one's watching?
Dance.
Really? Like when you have free time and you have no accountability with anyone else, like the activity you do is you like go off into a field and you dance hard.
Cranking the jams. I'm cranking the jams.
I like
reals.
that.
I also feel like I act the same. I am the same version of myself when people are watching and when people are not watching. And I think that that's very, like, people are shocked by that sometimes. And they meet me, they're like, oh my God, but you really do and act like this way. I'm the same person if I'm talking to the president of the bank or a colleague or a member or, you know, the homeless guy on the street yesterday was having a hard time and we gave him a biscuit and he went on his merry way. But it's like, you know, we're all human. We all go through this life. There's so many similarities. There's so many common grounds. And just to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, that they're trying really hard, they're doing their best, and they all just really want to do good in the world. That's just like my belief in general. So yeah, I mean, even when I'm in my car by myself, I'm like jamming. That's really the only time that I'm ever by myself. Otherwise, I'm surrounded by children.
Well, this was like a hypothetical. I was expecting you to say, "Oh, I go to like the theme park. I'm on a roller coaster. I'm going to Disney alone."
I would absolutely love that. I mean, I guess I wasn't dreaming big enough.
I tried to open the world for you and offer it to you, and you chose your car, but that's okay.
I chose being alone in my car.
You chose to be alone.
I mean, this is another thing that I do, like when I'm alone and I'm like, I think I need to go somewhere. I'll go to the Target parking lot. And I'll just sit in my car.
And you go on Instagram in the Target parking lot. I
talk to the world.
It's a real
yeah.
activity.
I sometimes cry.
Okay, so here's another question for you.
This is all normal.
It's normal. I have another question for you. What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
The best advice I've ever gotten. Okay, so this is a really tough one, Marcella.
What can be the best advice you've ever gotten that you are thinking of right now?
The word wait comes into my head. So Karen Carey, another member of Palette, who's brilliant, she taught me this thing, because I blab a lot and I can go on and on and on about very, very like things just out of nowhere. And she taught me this thing. It's like a word you say to yourself, it's wait. Why am I talking? Isn't it great? Wait. So I do this in conversation a lot because it's like, so normally my MO is to fill the space. Like I'm
you hate uncomfortable silences. This one hates them.
I can't stand the silence. So I'll say something. And usually it's something like, you know, like that I shouldn't have said or I didn't think through. I think that sometimes it's endearing, but also sometimes it's just stupid to talk when you don't have anything to say. And it's okay to just be in the silence. So wait, why am I talking? Okay, so that's like one thing. The other part, and I love this, is don't go asking someone's advice. Like, don't go ask, like, okay, I would never go ask you advice on the proper way to pick up trash cans. You know, like you have no expertise in sanitation
I don't pick up
or
things.
Trash pickup, you know? So like, what is that saying? It's like, don't go asking advice from somebody who's never experienced that before. And I love that one. Only ask the experts.
I like
and
it.
also ask the expert. Ask the experts. Like, don't try to white knuckle it, try to figure it out on your own. Like, ask people for help. Like, they know better than, like, us. I don't know. Not that I don't know anything. I'm an expert delegator, an expert asker of help. And if somebody doesn't want to help you, they can say no. And you don't have to take it personally.
Yeah, and you go, thank you, next.
Thank you. On to the next.
The next one will help you.
Somebody's
They're going to help you. Okay, so I got another one for you.
Okay.
What's the worst advice you've ever gotten?
I just like the word no. I think that's the worst. Like when people say no. That's not really an answer, is it? What's the worst advice I've ever gotten? I mean, honestly, like let's like bring it back to Paint and Sip. So I also own Saratoga Paint and Sip. It was the first of its kind in the Capital Region. It's a paint bar. It's a bar. You can, you have birthday parties there. You can retirement birthday parties, like girls' night out. It's super fun experience. And when I first moved to the area and went and started asking for help on how to get this business up and running, the worst advice I got was to not do it. The worst advice is like somebody literally telling me this will never work in Saratoga. This will never work in the Capital Region. This will not be successful. And that person, look at me now. Look at me now. No, I mean, it's 10 years. So Paint and Sip is 10, will be 10 years in April. So it's still chugging along. We're still here. So I think the worst advice that I've gotten is for somebody who they just didn't know who they were working with.
And they also didn't understand, like, there is more than their opinion at play here. Oh,
I love the naysayers, though. They have to exist. You gotta have them to keep you in check.
I love haters, personally. Let's go, haters. Let's arm wrestle. See who wins.
You in arm wrestling.
It just happened this year. I became obsessed with arm wrestling. I don't know what it is. We do it in all our team meetings now. I'm like pro arm wrestling. I think it's because none of us have like touched strangers or our friends in so long. I'm like, all right, let's see if we're really friends. Who's stronger?
Yeah, well, it makes you feel good because you always win.
No, but I really don't. Jean beats me. My man beats me. Sam should beat me. I don't know how she can.
We always say the wrong things. Jean does not beat you. I mean, imagine if somebody just clipped in on that little section.
Okay, in arm wrestling.
In arm wrestling.
He beat me in arm wrestling.
Because he's a strong man.
Because I let him win.
Okay. What are our parting words with the World Wide Web here?
I mean, we have to stop, but it's no, I'm kidding.
No, we do have to stop.
My parting words are that I really love this program and you and the whole concept of Here For It, because I think that it embodies like everything that, not like pallets of school or anything, but that we try to teach our members. And that is the first step is to show up. And, that's probably the best advice I've ever gotten in business is that like nothing's going to happen unless you put yourself there. Like you have to show up. And even on the hardest days, like you have to get up and be there and be 100%. And if you keep doing that, something's bound to happen. I mean, it might not be what you expect it to be, but something's going to happen. And kind of along those lines, I can't wait to see what happens on the new Here For It with you here.
Yeah, so we'll be back every Friday at 11 o'clock. And there will be imperfections, that I assure you, because this is totally unscripted. This is not live with Regis and Kelly. Okay,
I know you're shocked, but we didn't even have an agenda.
We didn't have an agenda. Agenda is for meetings, professional meetings. You know, like meetings of the professionals.
Yeah. LinkedIn, cover your ears, LinkedIn.
Cover your ears, LinkedIn. Like, but also, you know, a lot of things happen, you know, you don't need a meeting for everything. And when, you know, I don't want to say we're unprofessional. We're just like, we're transparent, unscripted, authentic, and organic, right? Like we really don't know what we're going to talk about. Except next week, I will have a special guest. So stay tuned. The only thing I can tell you is that she is a member of Palette, because that's what it takes to be on this program. We support our own. We want you to join if you're interested, if you want to learn more, if you want to hang out with us, because we're super fun and friendly. And you just got to slide into my DM. Give me the DM slide. And to the LinkedIn people, I am trying much harder to be more responsive on LinkedIn. Miranda Von Fricken is an expert in this, and I know that she is looking out for me, always telling me that I need to be more on LinkedIn. So here I am, Miranda, here for you, here for it, and tune in next week.
Yes, I can't wait to see who you're talking to. It's not me. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys.
Tune in, and then, tune in wherever it's most convenient for you. We're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. We are also streaming on our website. So that's paletecommunity.com/live. Comment, engage, tell us what you're thinking. And maybe we could just like pull you onto the screen. Oh, that's fancy.
That's skills.
It only gets better from here on out. All right, guys. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend and see you on the flip side.